What's going on, everybody? Mike here, AX Garage. Welcome back to the channel. And today we'll start off our second episode on Honda Pro Jason, previous FK8 Honda Civic Type R. For some of you guys are new to the channel, the new owner brought the vehicle to us for some upgrade and refresh. And to start off today's episode, we'll be working on the engine bay here. And to start this off, we have an upgraded aluminum KoyoRad Radiator. Now over here, we have the stock unit. Before we get started, let's go and get the car up in the air and drain out the engine coolant. And to avoid major mess, we'll go ahead and remove the entire engine splash shield. And back to the radiator, we'll go ahead and leave the AC condenser assembly in the car. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and remove this big metal shield along with plastics over here on each end, and the radiator should be able to go from the very top. So we got a stock radiator out of the car. Next up, before we put on the KoyoRad upgraded radiator, we got two other items over here that we want to work on. We have a water pump, a brand new OEM water pump assembly, and also a Spoon Sport thermostat. Now, the reason we want to change the water pump, the owner want to make sure that the cooling system is 100% perfect. This car has about, I think, 75,000 miles, so it does have some miles on it. While we got everything out of the way, it's a good opportunity for us to go ahead and knock this out. Okay, so able to finish up the water pump here and able to get the stock thermostat out of the vehicle. One thing I did look at is, take a look at here. Looks like the previous person that worked on the car didn't slip the radiator hose all the way in. It's supposed to bottom out here. So now because we're doing the replacement, this is a perfect time for us to fix that. So we have a brand new Spoon Sport unit. It looks almost exactly identical to the OEM unit. So all we have to do now is loosen up the hose clamp here and swap everything over. Okay, so we got the water pump and the thermostat out of the way. Next up, we are ready for the KoyoRad Radiator. Now let's take a look at this radiator is much beefier than the stock unit. Now, the stock unit does have all the factory accessory fans on there. And the good thing about this radiator, everything will bolt right out. And over here, you can really see the differences between the two. This is the factory unit with a plastic tank on top and bottom, and this is the KoyoRad Radiator. Complete aluminum construction with beautiful well all around. And we have done the same exact radiator on John, the Integra, and you want to take a look at that, we'll go ahead and put a link up there and also down in the description. Now, one last thing I want to show you guys is the core. Take a look at the factory unit here, compare that to the KoyoRad upgrade. Okay, so we are all done with the KoyoRad Radiator. Next up, mentioned that before, we do have to spray over the intercooler because the owner want a new coating on it. John, what do you got here?
So what we have here is the 27.1 intercooler, and this is a company we've talked to. We know about them too. They make a really cool product, and this one's been on the car for quite some time. And you know, when Honda Pro Jason owned this car, he drove this car a lot. So it's got some, you know, debris and marks and bugs, and the coatings come off of it. The owner of this car, Jermaine, he's not interested in having this back on. So what we intend to do is clean this up, maybe get this blower right here, blow it from the back, try and get some of this garbage out of it. Then we'll clean it off and put a new coat of black on it, and then put it back in the car. It should be a pretty simple, straightforward deal. Just giving her some new life.
So while we're waiting for the intercooler to dry it off, we're gonna work on our next item. Now, John got some RV6 suspension over here, and he's gonna tell you a little bit more about them.
All right, so RV6, we've worked with them a bunch, and they have some pretty cool products here that fill a gap on the FK8 chassis. So let's go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you what we got as we go. So I believe this box here is gonna have the new adjustable rear lower control arms. These things are really nice, the quality is awesome, and the adjustability is even better. So this takes place of the lower control arm where your spring mounts, and it gives you a nice turnbuckle here to adjust your toe when you only had like a cam bolt before. So this is a really awesome upgrade in ways of the rear lower control arm and toe adjustment. Then, and as you see, it comes with all the necessary hardware, spherical bearings out at the end, and always a nice little care package from RV6. Always appreciate that. And over here, what we have is something that I would like to get for the Integra at one point or another, but you know, I can't get everything I want. I'm gonna try. And what we have here is a upgraded rear sway bar setup. And these are really awesome. We installed this on Greg's car on the Spoon LE build, and it is a very nice setup. It is the hollow bar style sway bar, rear sway bar, with three adjustable mounting points to change the stiffness, and finished in wrinkle red to match the rear lower control arms. It's like a Type R valve cover finish on here. It's pretty cool. Made by RV6, and all of the necessary accompanying hardware and bushings and brackets that go with it. So this one is not too difficult of an install, but man, the quality is beautiful. Look at this. Awesome. Can't even mess it up, and I mess everything up. So let's go ahead and start taking out the stock stuff and see about getting this all installed. All right, so now you can see how it works. This will bolt up in the factory location. Your spring will mount here. Your sway bar goes right in here. And now this will mount in there. So instead of using the cam bolt design like was on here previously, which really only gives you a few degrees of adjustment with the toe, now you have this turnbuckle here with the spherical bushing, and that will allow things to be stiffer here and a lot more precise adjustment on this. So it's a pretty awesome setup, and man, it looks good. It really does look good.
Hope they make that for your Integra, John.
Maybe they do. Man, I always looking to upgrade my suspension. That's the one part that I never got around to, is doing anything with the rear sway bar. I feel like the car really needs a more substantial rear sway bar, and I'd be interested in that. All right, so what we need to do is remove this bushing, and then we're gonna install it on here, but we're also gonna use the Energy Suspension Lube. that's going to stop it from making noise. So we're going to lube both sides. We're going to lube where it goes onto the bar and where it sits into the bracket, because now it comes with these new billet brackets to hold the increased diameter bar. So let's go ahead and do that.
And we are all finished up with the RV6 rear lower control arm along with the sway bar setup. And also our inner cores are nice and dry, and we're ready to put everything back together here. All right, guys, with the fan motorcycles twice, we are all good to go under the engine bay, and going to wrap today's video up. Let's do a quick recap and talk about what we have done on today's episode. We started off with a KoyoRad upgraded radiator. Then we replaced with a brand new factory OEM water pump due to the high mileage. Then we replaced with a spoon sport thermostat and also put a fresh coat of paint on the front mount intercooler. Then John and I finish off with the rear suspension with RV6 rear load control arm and also the sway bar. And we're gonna wrap today's video up, guys. On the next episode, we have a brake kit for front and back on this FK8 Civic Type R. You guys don't want to miss. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. You guys like what you see, give us a thumbs up and also drop a comment below. My name is Mike, behind for HC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see all of you next week.